Hey guys, this is Aaron18 and welcome to another tech video involving my computer. Hope you guys are having an awesome day. I'm having a pretty good day myself. So, for those who have been watching my videos for a while now, you may be familiar with this system. This is the system that I had built in August of last year, which last year would now be 2020, which sounds like ages ago, but it's really just over a year ago. And this system was essentially my upgrade to a system that I had previously. It was actually the first system that wasn't a hand-me-down, that wasn't any sort of, originally, trash. Also, I'm recording this off my phone, so I'm not the best videographer, so bear with me here. Now, there's a couple of changes that I'm going to be making to this, but first, let's go over the system itself. So, this system... there we go. This system has carried me for the past year, and it's doing pretty good. So, for those who don't remember, this is using a AMD Ryzen 3 3300X, 16 gigabytes of DDR4 3200 RAM, a GTX 1660 Super, a 600 watt Corsair power supply, a 1.5 terabyte hard drive, as well as a 240 gig SSD, and, the usual stuff like Corsair fans and so forth. So this system, at the time, I had thought it was going to be more than enough. In fact, this is a decent system, and right now it's impossible to get, especially for the graphics card. But there's a couple of changes I want to make to this, and I know you might be thinking, well, this is a decent system, why do you need to upgrade it? Not in terms of the hardware. The hardware is going to be mostly the same. It's going to be, the same processor, same memory, same graphics card, same most of that, a couple of minor changes. Which is where we move to over here. Now, this is my new chassis. Let me turn on the light. This is an MSI MAG Forge 100R. This is kind of like their budget case as far as I'm aware. And this is actually not bad. So, one of the things about this is it's new and it looks pretty nice. In all seriousness, it has this, it's very sleek design. It's mostly mesh in the front, or a sort of mesh. It's not tempered glass or anything, because that's really just for aesthetic purposes. It's got this bar across the middle, which it does kind of restrict airflow, potential, because you could have a third fan mounted here. It only has two, but there could be a third one behind this, but it's not going to work as well because of this bar. But I suppose if you want to have a third fan, it works. It still has airflow, technically. Got an MSI shield bed right there. And on top, we've got the I.O., which is the usual. So we have a power button, reset switch, dedicated headphone and microphone jacks, dual USB 3. So there's no USB 2 on here, which, if you remember, this case, which is the Rosewill Nautilus, great budget case, you can find it. It has two USB 3 and two USB 2. So it might seem like I'm downgrading in terms of I.O., but realistically, I don't need that much USB. Okay, I do, but most of it is not used. I could just plug it into something else. The only one I'm actually going to connect on here for right now is my headphones. And also, there's an LED switch here, because yes, these fans are adjustable RGB. Let's turn off that light. So ARGB fans, two ARGB fans at the front, one normal PC fan in the back, which is, kind of standard, but the ARGB is definitely useful for those who want to have that customization. Now, another thing that's worth noting is that these are two different types of cases in terms of, quality and so forth. This is kind of a cheaper case. It was a gift to me, but if you were going to buy this on your own, with your own, for your own build, it's going to be about $50, or when I looked at it, it was like $50. And for that, you're getting a lot of plastic, like a whole lot of plastic, like plastic here, plastic there, metal for like the side panels and so forth, and you get a acrylic side panel. Which in some cases is better because it's not the same as tempered glass, which does shatter. This just cracks. And typically it's just on a metal side panel of itself. So there's actually some metal around here as well. Okay. For this, you're getting more metal. There is a plastic front, but usually you do have a plastic front to this. You're getting a magnetic fan filter, which actually has a lot more cooling potential than this one, which is a lot more limited, and it's cut off because of its aesthetic. And this also has tempered glass. This is a tempered glass side panel. As you can see, tempered glass, handle with care. So this is a more, and it also has a basement, if you will, which is used to hold the power supply. Turn that on. It's used to hold the power supply and the drives. Over here, you're not getting a basement. Okay? And this also does not have a 5 1/4-inch bay for optical drives and so forth. So, for some who do have it, it's, well, you don't have it in this one. But this is also a more expensive case. This is a newer one, and it is, again, more expensive. So, if you're going to find this on Amazon for probably like $70. So, $20 difference, and you're getting a little bit less, but you're also getting a little bit more, if that makes sense. Excuse me. But also, I'm not just upgrading the case. I'm also upgrading some of the hardware inside. Okay? So, first on the list is this power supply. This is an EVGA 6... let me try that again. EVGA Supernova 650 G5. This is, so it's an EVGA power supply, so EVGA knows how to make power supplies, so it's not some sort of, lower tier one, I suppose, or a lower quality one. Even though a lot of people don't like them, they could still be decent price for cheap. And it's a 650 watt power supply. So if you couldn't tell in my old system, I have a 600 watt. So I am gaining 50 watts, which doesn't sound like a lot. Okay, I'm gonna admit it's not a lot of power in the grand scheme of things. But in PCs, that 60 watts, or actually 50 watts, is still very, very useful. In case you need to get more drives, or if you want to have more RAM, or maybe just a little bit of a better graphics card, or even better CPU cooler, or more fans, or whatever. It still makes a difference. And what makes this one even better than my older one is this has a 80+ gold rating, which means it is very efficient. It's not the highest one. The highest one is 80+ titanium, and that's the most efficient. The next one is 80+ platinum, and then it's 80+ gold. So not exactly amazing. Okay, it is amazing compared to my older one, which I don't think even has an 80+ rating. So very efficient, much better power supply for the money. Even though we got this on a really good deal. So I got this on a really good deal. It's, it's a great power supply from what I've heard. It's not the one that exploded or combusts. I made sure of that. I made sure that wasn't the case. And then, of course, I'm upgrading the CPU cooler, which is, in this case, a Hyper 212 Black Edition from Cooler Master. It is a tower cooler. It's based upon their older, I think more well-known, probably, Hyper 212 Evo. But this one is a little bit different because because it's all black, and I think it's a little bit different from the original Evo. And this is going to set you back about $50 if you're going to be getting it for your own system. I already did a video on this. I already unboxed it and everything. So, you can check that out. I'll have it linked in the video description. But yeah. So, basically, here's what's going to happen. This system, most of it is going to be taken out of this case, the Rosewill Nautilus, and I'm going to put it into this case. Which might sound simple, but it's actually a lot more complicated because I have a lot of hardware in here. The power supply is staying. I'm going to take this power supply out of here, put it into here. The fans are going to come out. They're going to go into this chassis. This chassis, I'm going to take the fans out. I'm going to put the old ones in the ones in my current system into this case. Get the power supply into the case, and hopefully switch out my CPU cooler once I get everything in. Alright, let's get to it. So, I have gotten everything put in, turned on, and it's now ready to go. I'm just downloading an update real quick. But as you can see, it has been transplanted into the new case, looking absolutely cool. Looking absolutely fantastic. As you can see in here, we've got the tower cooler. It fits, which is kind of amazing. And the power supply is somewhere down there. Hard to see out. This doesn't have good lighting. So yeah. So this has been completed. A little frustrating because this is, this was a little bit complicated. The case was being a little bit finicky, and I had a lot of cables to deal with, but it's been finished. So, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'm gonna have everything linked in the video description for, I made probably everything for the case and so forth. Maybe not. I don't think I'm going to, but you can check it out on Amazon for the power supply, CPU cooler, and chassis. Also, go back to my other video. You could go back and watch my video about, me actually building the PC originally. But yeah, that's gonna do it for me. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll definitely see you in the next one.